Hey guys, it's a cool, misty April morning and I'm loving it because there's no rain. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been in front of you, at least on this channel, and that's pretty much because we've been busy doing non-homesteady things. If you watch Next Level Gardening, you know I've been pumping out a lot more videos over there, and the main reason is because most of the jobs, for this channel at least, require a little more heavy lifting. And I mentioned in the last video that I had hurt my arm, thinking tennis elbow, something like that. So I've been trying to take it easy, which means the cottage still looks the way it did the last time we were together on this channel. But my arm's feeling better, and we have no rain in the forecast, really nice cool days in the forecast. So this is the week that I get started back on the cottage, but I still have to prioritize. We did have Easter here. All the family came over here. And so before we did that, I wanted to, since my goal, as you remember, was to have the cottage roofed and everything done for Easter. And that didn't happen because of rain, because of injury. So I thought at least I need to have the cottage garden looking like it was more finished. So first of all, right here up front, it was really kind of messy. It was still, you know, some succulents, lots of weeds. It looks much, much different. Now, I'm not a big proponent of lawns, especially if you have a small space. You want to, you know, devote that to gardening. However, there will be a couple of places for lawn here. Right now, this area in front of these stumps, and then coming down here across the front of the stairs, and then back up over there, and then all the way up the driveway in a little strip is going to be lawn. Mainly because I feel like it's going to be a nice frame for the garden. It's going to allow your eye to kind of rest before jumping off into all of the craziness that is a cottage garden. Also, it kind of just creates a little bit wider space because the way this driveway is set up, you know, if we have more than a couple of people coming over, they have to park here. And so that's just going to give them a little extra walking room to get out of their cars on the side. However, because lawns take a lot of water and a lot of water is wasted watering lawns, I'm actually going to be doing something that I feel is pretty ingenious. Now, I didn't invent it, but I think the idea is ingenious, and that is watering the lawn with drip. They actually make a drip tube. I think it's a 1/2-inch drip tube, but it's made to go under the ground. It doesn't clog. It has different technology in it that doesn't allow it to clog either by soil or roots. So I thought, what better place to give it a try? This isn't a huge area, and so I'll be taking you with me and showing you that, because if that works like it supposedly does, that would be a real big game changer in lawns and lawn maintenance and lawn care. I did plant a few trees up here. So this tree is going to eventually be coming out. So I have a cherry tree right here. And then back behind this tree that's coming out, there's a pear tree. And then up here in the front is the red bud tree that the blooms are fading, but there are some new leaves coming out. And then on this side, the other red bud, it's got even more leaves. Another pear tree. And then right here, we had an oleander that I cut down, and I'm going to now have to take out, which I'm not looking forward to. It's got quite a big mass of branches, which probably means a big mass of roots. Anyway, this cherry tree is going to go right here where this is. And then I have a crabapple back there near the fence. So in the springtime, this whole entire cottage garden is just going to be full of blossom. Cherries, pears, crabapples, and of course, the amazing red buds. It's not all good news though for the cottage. For the longest time, I felt that something wasn't right. I looked at it and I just thought something is not working for me. It's not like I've seen in pictures of the English cottages in England. And I finally figured it out. It is the eaves of the roof that are the problem. So if you notice, they come down and then they, a 90-degree angle right here. And so that aims this back in. Now without the thatch on it, you don't notice that there's an issue. However, once we hold this thatch up here where it would go, you can see the thatch is going to be kind of sticking out at an angle. And to me, that looks more like a tropical hut. And so I couldn't figure out what the problem was in my mind. And then I really studied these cottages, and I can't believe I missed it because it was right there in front of my face. The thatch on the edges of the cottage, on the eaves, point down. Now this is gonna be really hard to show you with one hand, but so basically now the thatch will come off of this roof and curve down and meet up with these. So it'll be a smooth look on the front rather than all the bristles sticking out. I hope that makes sense. The problem is, what that means is on all of the bottom parts of the eaves, I now have to get the angle this way so that I can attach the thatch on the bottom. So I figured out a fairly easy way to do it. I just need to go and get the wood to get that done. Morning, girls, enjoying the big stump. Did you kick her off there? So anyway, that is on my list of to-dos this week. I don't think it will take that much time. The other thing that's on my list of to-dos, notice that I put all good compost in here. I've actually done a bit of planting, except there's a line right here where that ends. And now this is all kind of still wild. There's still some succulents left that I'm keeping. I'm gonna be taking out all this agave here, keeping some for the Mediterranean garden. The cactus right here, I have no interest in. And so that is on today's agenda because it's nice and cool and misty out here. I won't work up too much of a sweat digging all that out. I'm not looking forward to that agave. I've taken out many agave here and they are not easy. But getting all that taken out, kind of cleared, leveled, and kind of just smoothed out so that I can bring in the rest of the compost. I don't know how more stumps to kind of just continue this over, because it is almost time to plant dahlias. I have cuttings and then I've still got tubers putting on more growth here. So lots of dahlia activity, and within the next week they're gonna need to go in the ground. So because I'm not in a position today to go to the store and get the wood, and because it is a nice cool day, we're gonna get started on clearing the front of the cottage garden. All right, so it's a couple days later and I wanted to show you kind of an overview of what we've done. It still looks a little bit like a construction zone, but it's getting there. I mean, I feel like I'm living and gardening in a construction zone for the past year and a half, and that's probably how it's going to be for a couple more years. But anyway, piece by piece, it will all come together, right? So we got this tree taken down. It was looking a bit diseased. And I figured now is as good a time as any, and then it won't disrupt the flow of this flower bed once I need to actually get it out. Why put it off at this point? And then right over here, I took down the agave. I still need to get the stump out, which is not exciting to think about. I did leave this one here because it's got this bloom on it and the bees really love it, although they're not here right now. So a few more days and then I can take this one out. This one, the roots are giving me an issue. I've got most of them chopped. I think there's like a tap root. It doesn't seem huge, but I'm gonna get a big pry bar from my dad's house today, and hopefully that'll help us finish getting that out. Yesterday I had one of the best days in the garden since we've been here. It was so nice. I chose not to film anything. I hope you will forgive me. I just wanted a day to be out and just have a relaxing time, not having to worry about any kind of production or anything like that. And it was so nice. I got a lot of the seedlings planted. I got dahlias planted. You can see this bed here. And once these fill in, this bed is almost full. But now it's time to tackle the eaves, like I had mentioned before, to reshape those eaves. I'm hoping it's going to be as easy as I think it's going to be, because I really want to get the roof on this thing. So I'm going to once again set up the saw table in here inside the cottage and start cutting the wood and see if we can make this happen in the easiest way possible. What? Okay, I know it's a little crooked, but wow. I mean, this is fun. This is fun. This has done so much for me. I have been so afraid of putting this roof on, but it's not that hard. It really isn't. I mean, yeah, we've got a lot to do, but it looks so good. Here's the underside view. Needs a little more blending. I can't even speak about how excited I am. Like, I can't wait to see this done. Can't wait. So before you comment, but please do comment because it helps the video. There will be an underlayment under all of this, and I'll show you that in a second. There will be an underlayment that goes between the roof and the thatch. I didn't want to put it up yet because I didn't want to nail holes in it, because I do have to take all this back off, because I didn't know if it would work on the first try. I bought several different sizes of wood to try out different ones. Just fortunately for me, the first one worked. So I do have to take these off, but they're already molded in place, and so I'll just keep track of where it goes. So I'm now that I know what size wood it's going to be, I'm going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's. I'm going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and I'm going to get the wood so I can get back and start working and get this roof done. Right here, this is the underlayment. So you can see it's got that same roof color. It's kind of gravelly like shingles. So that will go down first. All right, it's a couple days later, and I wanted to show you what I've done over the last couple of days. So I've added the extra wood here to change the angle from like a 45 to flat. So I've done that here on the eaves. And then down there as well. We also started with the underlayment, and it looks a little wrinkly. And that is because this stuff in the roll is so heavy, and this roof is so steep. Like, I couldn't even do it by myself at all. So Emily came out here and we tried to wrestle it up there, and we had to end up cutting it in half. I had a piece cut for the entire length, and that just was not going to happen. So I'm going to have a couple of pieces across there overlapped quite a bit, just to keep rain from, you know, getting underneath it. Before I continue with that though, I am going to do the things that I need to do to get everything done besides the roof. So there's still a few things to pick up on, just to get this whole thing ready to just get started on the roof and go all the way across with the roof, rather than get started and then stop and have to stucco some more. So the things that need to be done is this strip right here. I needed some wood right up there still, and I need to slice that off a bit. I need to finish the final coat on these sections of the stucco. I need to finish stuccoing the top of the chimney, and then once I get that wood up there on the peak, that needs to be lathed and stuccoed. And then the dormer, I need to get some wire put on the rest of it. I have the top done, so wire the rest of it and then stucco that. Then paint everything, and then all I have left to do is the roof. Well, at least the roof. See, this is where I get so frustrated, because technically I need to get the final coat on here, which is going to be, you know, stamped concrete, like brick. And technically that does touch the roof right here and on the back. So I don't know, maybe I have to do the chimney before I get started on the rest of the roof. Anyway, without the chimney, just finishing the top and doing the rest of the things I talked to you about. I'm planning on this morning getting all the wiring done and possibly the stucco. We do have to make a trip a little bit down south today. And then tonight I plan on coming back because it's so late now. I'm planning on finishing whatever I don't finish tonight. So by the end of today, I hope to have all the wiring done, the wood on top on that peak done, and stucco, scratch coat. I think I can do that. But if I'm gonna do it, I need to get started. All right, it's the next morning. I got so much done yesterday, you guys. So much done. So first thing is, I put the wood in the peak, so it's done. I wired it as well, so it's ready for stucco. I also got the entire chimney stuccoed all the way up except for a tiny little piece up there that I ran out, and so when I do stucco there, I'll finish that. I also got the dormer wired and stuccoed, and that was with taking a 5-hour break during the day to go run a couple of errands. So yeah, I was working till well after sunset last night. It was almost completely dark by the time I got in. Hey, that volunteer sunflower that I left here is blooming. That'll brighten up anybody's day. So today I'm going to be finishing work on the dormer. It needs the edges to have them flattened like this. And I need to put the woodwork, like all of this, on the dormer. And then I gotta take a break to film the planting tomatoes video for Next Level Gardening. I'll probably get back over here and paint the woodwork there that needs to be painted, as well as the woodwork that I put up here. If I have extra time after that, then I will probably go ahead and get the stucco out and start going again up on the peak and then finishing the top of the chimney. And then I think as far as the scratch coat, that's all that needs to be done. And then I'll just plan a full day, maybe tomorrow or the next day, to put the final coat of stucco on. And that would be for this wall here, the peak up there, and the dormer. This chimney, on the other hand, is what I'm mostly worried about. And that's because it's going to be stamped concrete brick. Now I've got the mold that you push up against the wet concrete to stamp it. I just worry about that process. I've never done it before, never done any of this before, so I have to remember that. I worry about the corners here. And you know, if it was a brick, it would be completely flat up to the edge and then completely flat. There'd be sharp corners. And I don't have that on virtually any part of this chimney. So I'm worried that that will give the stamped brick a weird shape along the edges. So Emily found some, I don't know what they're made of, but they're like tiles, but they're not tile. You can like hit them with a hammer and they don't break. And they look like brick, and you basically use adhesive to put them on and then grout between them, and then it looks like brick. But I think that would actually be a lot of work and more expense that I really don't want to have to put out on a project that is already... Let's not even go there. So that's my work for today. And I think I'm going to cut it off there. I think this video is probably long enough and it spans quite a space of time. And I need to get one out to you guys. So, but now that I'm feeling better, my arm's better, I'm back into work. And this coming week, it's like, it doesn't even leave the 60s in terms of temperature. This week, it's been in the upper 70s. And really, that sun has just felt so hot, especially to get up on the roof or, you know, do work out there like that. So I've taken a break in the middle of the day. This coming week, there should be plenty of stuff to film for this channel. So thank you guys for sticking with me through the downtime, and I will see you next week.